Hey y'all, I'm Tiffany and this is our small town life. We are a family of 7 that lives in a small rural Alabama town here in the heart of the deep south, and we share our small town life with you. Thank you for joining us today. We're starting the morning off slow, sitting on the porch, noticed a spider, so we came in and everybody wanted to eat breakfast and watch Charlotte's Web. So that's what we're doing. And then it's going to be a pretty busy day. I'm going to show y'all how we make pickle relish, how we can that with all the extra cucumbers that we have right now. I'm also going to show you how I put tomatoes in the freezer so that I can keep them until I have enough to make a big batch of salsa. We're going to be moving the chickens that are in the chicken tractor, restocking chicken feed, harvesting some things from the garden. So it's going to be a nice full video, starting our morning off slow and then getting a lot done. I'm fixing me some goldenrod tea. Y'all, I've not been drinking any hot drinks because it's been 95 plus degrees here in Alabama, but it was a little bit cooler of a morning, somewhere around like 76, 77 degrees. So I fixed me some goldenrod tea and sat on the porch, watched the hummingbirds and enjoyed that. I can tell a difference when I am consuming goldenrod and when I'm not, and I could tell that I hadn't been, which I could steep this into iced tea. I have a goldenrod tincture, but this is just my favorite way to get it in, and I can tell a difference when I am and when I'm not consuming it. I have a whole video dedicated to goldenrod, how we harvest it, how we store it, how we use it, what its benefits are. I can link that down in the description box for you, but I could tell I hadn't been using it, hadn't been taking it, hadn't been drinking my goldenrod tea, and so we're getting back at it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fix my tea, go sit on the porch and enjoy that while I watch the hummingbirds. Start the morning off a little bit slow, and then we'll get things going and get a lot accomplished today, from the relish to the garden to taking care of animals, dinner, and everything in between. I'm about to show you a clip of one of the hummingbirds. They've enjoyed coming and sitting on our arch trellis where we have our cucumbers growing because Justin made a hummingbird feeding station right next to it. I'm about to get started on some pickle relish. We have had a bounty of cucumbers this year. Counting myself blessed, last year was not a cucumber year. So I've been enjoying all the cucumbers that we've had this year. We've made a few different kinds of pickles. We've been eating cucumbers fresh. We've had them with just about every supper. So today I'm going to put some to use in making pickle relish. Some of the ones that I left on the vine a little long and they got a little big. Some of them they've started to get a little soft. I like to turn those into pickle relish. And that's what we're doing. Plus I made a big batch year before last and we're down to just a couple of jars. My mama said something about wanting some more. So I'm going to make some today and I'll give her some and we'll have some. And I'll probably end up doing another batch or two as long as the cucumbers keep coming in like they are now. I was filming something outside and I left my tripod sitting on the trampoline. I'm gonna need that. You know what, I'm gonna check for some eggs while I'm out here. I'm barefoot, so I better watch out for the honeybees. Good morning, ladies. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Oh no, what's happened here? To fix that. Ladies, what are y'all doing? Do y'all have to be in the same one? Do we have to be in the same one? Oh. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to rush you. That just happened. Doesn't get any fresher than that. I've literally watched the bloom dry on this egg. That was neat. It's about as fresh as they come. Ginger, how are you today? Back in the kitchen, and Audrey enjoys being in the kitchen and helping with these kinds of projects, so she volunteered to help me chop cucumbers, and I was thankful for that help. It makes it go by a lot faster, one, because you got somebody to sit there and hang out with, but also because it's two sets of hands working on all of the chopping and the preparing. So we sat down together at the table and started chopping up cucumbers and an onion. If you get one that has just a whole bunch of seeds in it, go ahead and scrape them out just a little. You don't have to worry about getting them all, and if they don't have a whole bunch, don't worry about it. But you want between 3 and 4 pounds of cucumbers. You don't have to worry about it so much. If it's closer to the 3-pound mark, you may just have a little more of the brine in your relish, your finished relish, like in your jar. If you're closer to the 4-pound mark, you may have more cucumber pieces. Just somewhere between 3 and 4 pounds. We had a little over 3, but not quite 4. And we're chopping them up really fine. You could do it in a food processor. Don't have one. Haven't had one for a few years. It's nice to just sit at a cutting board every once in a while. Maybe I should invest in another food processor. But I'm going to be doing this by hand. And the last time I made relish, we cut them up by hand. If we cut one open and it has a whole bunch of seeds or looks real watery, you can see right here I just cut some of that out. But if it doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of seeds, then we'll just chop it up and go with it. These are straight 8 cucumbers, and they usually don't have, like, this was probably the most seeds I've seen in one yet, or the most water content in the center. So most of these we should just be able to chop without having to worry about cutting any of that out. Especially the ones that are this size. The one I first cut up was a little bit bigger. Yeah, this one, I mean, there's seeds, but they're super tiny. I'm also going to dice up one onion, and I'm going to start working on it while Audrey's still working on cucumbers because she's got glasses on. I've got contacts in today, so the onion won't bother me so much. Is it bothering you over there?
Probably.
You think so? Like, it's pretty stout because I can smell it. Relish is a great way to use up these cucumbers that would have probably otherwise gone to the chickens. I don't know, some of these we would have sliced up and just eaten fresh. But when you have as many as we've had this year, like, eventually you kind of get tired of seeing cucumbers. There's such thing as the burden of abundance, and it feels a little silly to say that, especially after a year like last year where we didn't have many cucumbers. But it can get where you just have so many that you're not really sure what to do with them, and not just cucumbers, of a lot of things. And so this is one of those things I like to keep in the arsenal to do with some of these cucumbers that were a little big or whatnot. And the chickens would enjoy these, and it wouldn't be wasteful, and they've gotten some, and I'm sure they'll get more. But doing this, we get to preserve them for us to enjoy. And we can enjoy it in the middle of the winter when we don't have fresh cucumbers. And we're excited to see it. Got a 1/4 cup of salt. I'm going to sprinkle that on here and then stir it around. And we'll cover it with a towel and let it sit for, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 hours. You'll start to see water in the bottom of the pan that's pulling out of the cucumbers. And I'm using a canning and pickling salt. There it is right there. You could use a different kind of salt. I just would not use an iodized salt. Iodized salt in canned products can make it end up cloudy, and I just want to avoid that. Oh, this already smells good with the onion and the cucumber. Something I'm going to do while I'm waiting on my cucumbers is to put a few of these tomatoes in the freezer. I got a few extras right now, and we don't want them to go bad. And we also want to save up enough to make a batch of salsa. And putting them in the freezer makes them really easy to peel. So there's a lot of reasons I like to freeze tomatoes. All I'm doing is cutting the core out, setting them to the side, and then putting them in a freezer bag and putting them in the freezer. Then when I have enough saved up to do something with, all I gotta do is take them out, let them thaw, and the skins will just slide right off of them. Now, freezing a tomato wouldn't be ideal for like slicing a tomato for a sandwich. The texture is going to change, but for canning purposes or using in a recipe, this works really well. These yellow ones are lemon boys. They're some of my favorite. They taste delicious, and the plants always do real well for us. All right, I'm just gonna line them up in my bag. And this is something Mama taught me to do. Take a straw and zip it up in your bag, and then suck the air out of it. And then I'll put them in the freezer like that. Y'all, I want you to look at these beauties that just came. I'll show you more of these in an upcoming video when we're using them. I'm going to start some fall things in this seed starting tray. This is from Green Stalk. It's a reusable seed starting tray. And look at this beautiful blueberry color. This is a 3-tier Green Stalk, and I'm going to get some fall things going in that. Don't think I'm going to do that today, although I would love to. I've just got some other things that I need to get done, but very soon. Very soon. I really don't even know if the camera does this color justice. It is so pretty. If you've been eyeing Green Stalk and you want to snag up this color while it's available, I will put a link down in the description box. We'll plant this one very soon. But I am loving this color. Alright, you can see this has been sitting for a few hours, and there's a lot of moisture in here now, so I'm going to pour this through my colander and strain off this liquid. I'm not going to wash it. I'm just going to strain this extra liquid off, and then we'll get our brine going and start cooking this. We've got our jars heating up in our water bath canner. We're going to put it in pint jars, and we're getting the water in the water bath canner hot, getting the jars hot because our relish is going to be hot. You want to keep everything the same temperature so you don't shock the glass and break it. But Audrey's going to go ahead and put everything in here. Our cucumbers and onion is in this bowl. The water is drained off of them. Didn't rinse them, so they still have some salt on them. And then the other things that she's going to put in there, and I'll put it down in the description box, but she's going to put about a cup of sugar, 3 cups of white vinegar. You could put a little more sugar if you wanted it sweeter. 4 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of celery seed, 2 teaspoons of mustard seed, and half a teaspoon of turmeric. Huge garlic. This is some of that elephant garlic that we grew, and since they're so big, I'm gonna do 2 of them. We're going to bring this to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, and let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll start filling our jars, getting them back over into our water bath canner, and processing them for 10 minutes.
My cookies smell yummy.
Smells yummy.
Yeah.
I pulled the jars out of the canner as we were getting ready to fill them, so they were nice and warm. And I'm putting this relish in there, filling it to probably about a 1/2 inch head space. I just make sure I always get it up to at least where that thread starts at the top of the jar. And then we ran a butter knife around in it to make sure there were no air pockets. Wiped the rim to make sure there were none of those little seeds, the mustard seeds or celery seeds or sugar or anything that would keep the seal from being able to suction down and seal the jar. Put the flat on, put the band on, and then moved it back over into the water bath canner. And then once we have that full, we'll make sure it gets all the way up to a boil and start our timer. If you are used to canning, then the things that I've mentioned and said probably are familiar to you. But if you're brand new to canning, I would like to encourage you to go check out the video that I have that's dedicated to water bath canning. I actually have one that's dedicated to water bath canning and one that's dedicated to pressure canning, just going over some of the terms and the ins and outs and the way that I do things, the way Mama taught me to do things. So I'll link those down in the description box in case you're brand new to canning, trying to learn more, and want to watch those videos as well. I had originally planned tacos for tonight. We got our Stacy's organic tortillas in the freezer. I had a tri-tip that I was going to cook and some chicken, so we could do beef and chicken tacos. The avocados I had for that are not ripe yet. I didn't get the meat out of the freezer. And it just is what it is. There's some people who would, oh no, we're not doing chicken fingers and box mac and cheese. Never ever. We do. And most people still do those things every once in a while. That's life. That is real life. And there are days when I'm thankful for those conveniences. We eat good. I prioritize good food. But I ain't gonna hide from you that sometimes these are the dinners we have. This loaf of sourdough smells so good. I don't know how much you can tell from it because we've been eating on it. But Audrey's been experimenting with a orange cranberry loaf. And it is so good. I don't think your boots are on the right feet, but it'll be alright. Yeah. Let's look at these watermelon while we're out here. Morning glories need to go. Alright, I gotta thin some of them. More morning glories. These chickens that are in the chicken tractor, we've been moving them around on fresh grass. They're the spring chicks that we hatched. And they're getting pretty close to laying age. There's a few roosters in here that will honestly probably end up in the freezer. That's them fulfilling their purpose. And then the hens will be laying hens, the next generation laying hens. And I have some nest boxes that they're in the house in a box. I just gotta get them put together. And I'll get that out here for them. I actually have two. They're both rollaway nest boxes from the same company, but two different designs. And we're gonna try both of them to see what we like better. One's gonna go with these chickens, and one's gonna go in the other coop with our older hens. We really need to go ahead and move them today. Usually move them every other day, something like that. Hey, you want to help me move them? I got a helper. Pull that right there. You pull it. Gotta pull hard. Uh oh, hang on. I think the string came off. I pull the string. See the string right here?
Football.
Are you mixing it?
Yeah.
Good job.
What are you going to do it?
Stir, stir. I think I'm done for right now. Y'all still stirring?
Yeah.
And here I'm starting to seal. I've got one more thing on my to-do list for tonight after supper that I want to get done. And that's get a jar going of fermented pickles. So I'm going to pick some of these cucumbers. That way they'll be in there. I don't know that I'll show that in this video. But if you want to see how to make fermented pickles, let me know. Excellent for the gut health. So I'm going to pick some of these cucumbers. That way they're in the house. And after supper, I can get that done. And like I said, if it's something you'd want to see, let me know. And I can show you how to do it. I'm just getting tired. And I don't know that I'll set the camera up when I do it tonight. We just preserved all those cucumbers today, and now there's plenty more.